LegacyMaker, the All Sports Network.
This is it. This is for all the chips. Work for championships. No, it gets no better than this. Just sit and relax a bit. We're talking to pass and blitz. We're talking to jump and switch. We're talking to pitch and miss. Clean space, kick space. You come to the right place. Deep bait. I don't need to see other shows. I'm straight. Cause they not impressing me. I tune into Legacy. Legacy. Fourth and goal and on the road. Legacy. Down 3 seconds to go. Legacy. 2 out, bases loaded. Legacy. It's not a mystery, you're tuning to Legacy. Check the flag on the final lap. Legacy. 12th round, who gets in the mat? Legacy. You want a legacy? You build a legacy. Broadcasting live right now so the whole world can see.
Now, the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast.
Welcome, everybody. We about to get this bad boy started.
Here are your hosts, Darrell Owens and Jay Quimby.
What is up, everybody? What is up? Welcome to another episode of Legacy. How about the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast here on the LegacyMaker Sports Network, episode 308. I see you found your code red, which is always a good deal.
My precious.
Yes, most definitely. Once again, everybody, thank you all for tuning in. Glad to be with you today. Got some topics to get into today. We're going to do our mock draft or our official LegacyMaker Sports Podcast mock draft a week before the draft here today. But we got a couple of issues to get into that we're going to bring up and break down today. Jay, how's everything going?
Been blessed. Everything's on the up and up. Weather is bipolar shit still, but besides that.
Yeah, definitely not a fan of that. It's like lukewarm, hot, cold at the same time. It's some weird thing combination.
Dude, at the game last night, it was like this outside. It was like, this is nice. Da 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 da. The sun went down. It was like cold. being in Michigan, dude.
It was cold. It was cold. Look, so I mean, we got a lot to get into today, so we're gonna roll right into it. So we got our top stories. We'll get started with first top story of the day that we'll kind of bring up is Mr. Draymond Green. Now, Draymond Green got suspended for one game after I'm going to call it Stone Cold stump across the chest, maybe even Finn Balor for those wrestling fans out there, stumped him right in the chest, Domantas Sabonis, right in the chest. Now, the only defense that I've heard is he did grab his leg, but he was falling, and then you see him kind of grab his leg at the like as he was on the ground. I don't know if he was just trying to catch his balance. I don't know. Maybe he was just trying to stop him. I don't know. But regardless, he stumped him in the chest, like used it like Super Saiyan, like he pushed off his chest, stumped him in the chest, and kept on moving. So, Jay, your thoughts on Draymond Green and this one game suspension? Do you think that this could be it for? Do you think this could be it for the Warriors? I mean, they're down 2-0 to this team already.
Well, I've seen them come back from lower, but I mean, I believe it's best of 3, right?
It's best of 4. So I mean, not best of 4, best of 7. So they have
they got to win 4.
Yeah, all the rounds. So they won the first 2 games in Sacramento, and so now they got to head to Oakland to see if they can try to win at least one. In my opinion, at least if they can win one, I think they'll be in really good shape. But they got to find a way to win one.
But one game for stomp on a dude's chest. Now, I know most of the time I'll be like, all right, whatever, it is what it is. But this is not Draymond's first time doing this type of stuff. And then we look back, he stomped on his chest. DeMar Hamlin was not that long ago.
Right. Yeah, it was a little bit weird. I know when I saw it, I'm like, man, this guy always getting in trouble at the worst time. I mean, it cost, if you go back the year that the Cavaliers won the championship, that whole kicking in the groin thing that cost them, and then they end up losing the series. I don't know if it was either the Cavaliers or the Toronto series, but I want to say it was the Cavaliers series. And look, I know Draymond, and to an extent, is their he's their catalyst at times. Like he brings you that tough energy, that rugged energy that maybe Clay and Steph don't give you. I would almost say Dennis Rodman type energy per se. Maybe not scoring, but rebounds and defensive play. But
Rodman, Ben Wallace.
Yeah, Ben Wallace type. Yeah, but it's just for me. I look at it and say this is just it's dumb.
When's the line in the sand?
Yeah, I mean it wasn't smart on his part. Definitely wasn't smart on his part. And now, if Sacramento ends up going up 3-0 after this one, I mean it's a loss for them. But I still think Golden State can still fight in this series. So I mean,
but let's still give props to. I mean, the Kings are exactly who we knew they could be.
Touche.
And they're showing it. So
yeah, they've been playing really well. I love what I've seen. De'Aaron Fox is out there balling.
Oh God, I know he's your guy.
You know, look, I've been saying it since he's drafted. I always told people I felt like he had John Wall type of ability, like early John Wall type of ability, like the guy who just flies up and down the court. You know, he's from Kentucky.
He takes command of the game.
Yes, and in that shot that he hit, I think a couple games ago, clutch. He's talented, and I'm glad they didn't trade him. Well, I'm not, because I thought Miami was going to get him, and I wish they would have traded him. But that's the selfish part of me. But for Sacramento fans, I'm glad that he's still there. They look good, and Mike Brown, man. I mean, look, Mike Brown has been around.
I'm pretty sure on Legacy on Fire the other night, you trash talked him.
I did. Well, I mean, it's like, here's the thing. You know, Mike Brown has had his whatevers, but he's done an amazing coaching job with the Sacramento team. An amazing coaching job with the Sacramento team. I'm almost super proud.
Coach Brown, where was that when you were in, Northeast Ohio?
Oh, you already know what. I mean, come on, man.
LeBron was the coach of that team.
Yeah, man. Like that's look, when you in that situation, Brown had to look at it like, all right, that's LeBron's team. All right. And their offense is going to run through LeBron. And they had some good, decent chemistry. Heck, they got to the finals a couple times. But they had decent chemistry. But the thing about it really for me was, Brown finally got to a team where, he doesn't have that person per se. Now, don't get me wrong, right. Fox is a great player, but he can coach the guys. And I think that's what's been the difference, man. But hey, man, touche to Sacramento, man. I'm just glad they got the dub after 17 years.
Fox shows up to work, and he's there to work. He's not there to be the king.
Touche. And it has been a beautiful thing for Sacramento. Hopefully, Sabonis will be able to get back in there. I think they play tonight. So we'll see how that kind of pans out there.
10 o'clock.
But Draymond's they got to fix that, man. Draymond's got, and then he tried to play victim, which I thought was funny. I saw the press conference. He's like, well, the guy was grabbing my foot. That don't mean you stomp him. He can grab you. You know what you could have did? You could have just stood there and then look at and be like, what is this?
Why not pull LeBron and fall down and be like, oh.
Now I can see if like Sabonis if Sabonis had grabbed his leg and you can see him like pulling him toward the ground. That's different. Yeah, I might have stumped you myself on that end. But yes, he did grab your leg. We all saw that part. But he didn't. Does he deserve to get stumped because he grabbed your leg? I mean,
let the officials run the game, not WWE.
Yeah, let them handle that. I just thought that was crazy for me, but
Grayson Allen type.
Yep, Grayson Allen type. So that's Draymond on that bad boy. We got two quick comments that we'll go over before we head to the next one. Our new contributor here on the network, Joseph Raymond, said, "What's up, fellas? What's up, Joe?"
It feels weird hearing Joseph. What's up, Joey?
I know, right? I'm not used to it neither. So Joey was out there covering some hockey last night. Got an article popping out today. The Roanoke Rail Yard Dogs getting the playoff victory last night.
I love the name.
I know, right? And then he said, by the way, he thought it 2 or 3. Is what he probably should have got. So I agree with that. He probably definitely should have got 2 or 3. But Draymond, man, come on. If they lose, then I don't think he's back next year. But that's just me personally. Next one. Here we go. Jalen Hurts, getting to some football. Jalen Hurts becomes the highest paid quarterback. I think he's going to be making 51 annually if you kind of base it out. But the way they structured it was beautifully done by Howie Roseman.
I think it's like 32 million a year.
Yeah. So they did it real smart if you are the Eagles, but they lock in their guy for the next couple of years. When you see this and you're Lamar Jackson, And you said, wow. And they went and paid Jalen. Now, don't get me wrong. Jalen did get his team to the Super Bowl, but Lamar Jackson is also an MVP. That's a conversation we can go into that. What was that?
Nothing. I'm being Have.
Oh, okay. So I looked at it, and my whole thing is, I think he deserves the money. I'm not going to take that away from him. 2 playoff appearances as a starter, a Super Bowl appearance, and yes, a rough loss to Tampa Bay 2 years ago, but he's shown improvement every year.
And he's what, 24?
He is. He's like 24 years old, man. He's still young, you know. I think they're getting out of him what they thought they might have gotten out of Carson Wentz. But you know, knock on wood, hopefully he can stay healthy and Hurts doesn't get hurt. Whatnot.
Hurts gets hurt.
Doesn't get hurt. Yeah, Hurts doesn't get hurt. Yeah.
I mean,
something like that.
Kudos to a guy that, you know, led Alabama to a championship and then got pulled at halftime. Tua come in, did his thing, which is great. We'll talk about him later. And then transfers 1 year. And everybody's like, oh, if he'd have came out, this. The man, he did what he had to do, and he's getting paid for it.
Yeah.
This one makes more sense than that Giants crap.
Yes, most definitely. The fact that Daniel Jones got that much money is still blowing my mind. I'm happy that he got paid, you know, on a non, you know, pay, man, you made your money by all means, but man, the Giants, I just don't think that was the move. Personally, you could have went and got Lamar.
Well, Jones should have got at top 15 to 20 million a year.
Yeah, I don't know if they would have given him that much. I think with the way the quarterback market is now, I would have said more like, because the quarterback market obviously is taking a jump. So I'd probably say about 30-ish. Because I think 30 is low end. No, because 30 is about low end now. I mean, if you look at the numbers, the top guys are like, if I'm not mistaken, it's like 50, 51, 49. Aaron's got 49. There's 48, 47, 46. I thought I saw like a 41, 42.
No, I understand that. But
is he worth?
When the cap comes into play with this,
mm-hmm.
You're putting that much money towards one player, and you have 53 players you got to field. When's enough?
I don't know, man. See, that's the thing. When you know the quarterback is the most precious position on the field. I think the NFL still has to figure out what they can do on this, because if you're right, it's such a disparity, I guess, going through across, because you'll see top running backs making like, you know, what, 10 million.
Chris 5.
Yeah, and they take beatings. I mean, running backs take beatings. Offensive line, but it's all weird. Like if you look at like highest played on each position, everybody's got a little bit of a different feel. Tight ends don't get paid as much as receivers. I think tight ends actually might get paid more than running backs, which I think is wild.
But running backs life shelf span is like 4 to 6 years.
Yeah, and then you look at on the defensive side, like linebackers and defensive linemen, they can get hooked up from time to time. So I mean, look, it's all different, but. I look at it for Philly, and I think they made the right move here. I mean, go ahead and lock your guy in and kind of go from there, because they're going to have to figure out all these other pieces here soon. But
yes,
get your quarterback straight. So.
Remember when they were calling for Roseman's head, and now look at him; he looks like a genius.
I said it last year. I might have said a couple of shows back, but I was like, look, if he's not the best GM in football, who is? Because you got to look at what he's done twice. You know, he brought Chip Kelly in. All right, we got Chip. Yay, Chip. We bring Chip Kelly in. I think Chip Kelly has one really good year. And then after that, it falls apart. And then he scraps everything. 2016 draft comes up. They start, adding pieces to the puzzle. They bring in Wentz. They start reconstructing everything. They trade this. So they trade up to get, I think the Rams had the 2 pick. They trade up with the Rams. They flip. They get Bradford. They send Bradford this way. It's just a whole bunch of stuff that just kind of goes along with it. He rebuilds that. They win the Super Bowl. Guess what? He tears that team down. He sends, Foles goes this place. Frank Reich runs away. Eventually they get rid of Doug Peterson. And then they bring in a new head coach. And somehow, some way, they rebuild this thing with new players, nice trade moves. You bring in Brown. They do all of this movement, and they make it back to the Super Bowl.
The Brown one is the reason their GM's not there anymore. Hands down.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was dumb. Like, but I mean, I understand them. I knew they were going to trade him because there was obviously some type of disconnect there with him and the team. But I mean, it's like when it happened, and then you see the year Brown has. It's like, man, you needed to figure out a way to fix that and not let it get that bad. But hey, the Eagles are continuing to fly high, as they like to say.
That was for you, Ty.
That was for you, Ty. So they continue to fly high on that bad boy. Well, congratulations to Jalen Hurts as he becomes the highest paid quarterback. I don't know how long for, but he is for now. Now, talking about quarterbacks, this is where it's going to get a little bit fun. Trey Lance could be on the move. There were some reports that came out that the 49ers are shopping him. Now, Jay, I got to see if I can find this because I looked at some of these trade scenarios on the Bleacher Report.
I seen it too, dude.
Did you see that
my
too?
team was on that
list.
list.
Your team was on that list, and they had Baker looking confused in the picture, which I thought was hilarious. But the one that intrigued me, there's two that intrigued me. The Texans one definitely intrigued me because they didn't have to give up the number 2.
Wait, hold on. The Colts one intrigued you.
Well, hold on. Let me. I was trying to find it because the Colts one is actually another intriguing one because if they can't get the quarterback at 4, why don't you make the move? You know, I mean, it doesn't hurt you. But I wish I could find it. I don't know where the article is. That's gonna bother me. But if I end up finding while we're talking about it, is that it? No. All right. But some of the trade scenarios, I was like, okay, I could see that. Then Minnesota was one that was kind of mentioned, and I was like, "Wow, what are your thoughts on this?" Because I mean, obviously they said Purdy may not be coming back. They've already Sam Darnold. Purdy might be hurt for longer because of the injury. So, I mean, what are your thoughts on this?
Again, we got another quarterback that we've seen. I mean, he did well until he got hurt. I think he had like 700 and some yards. 1 rushing touchdown. So, I mean, I actually found the article here.
Thank you, because I was looking hard for it. And and it's not treating me well at all. I was looking hard for it.
It just completely transported me to Aaron Rodgers.
Oh, Lord.
Let's not talk about him. Darrell gets sensitive and sad.
I just wanted to be over with. You know how I feel about that.
But what they're saying is they're looking at what Darnold was traded to the Panthers for, like a second and somebody else, or when Josh Rosen got sent to the Dolphins type of thing. And the way it's looking, I mean, it's like a 5th round pick is what? 4th or 5th round. They had Tampa giving up a 3rd rounder for him, which I think is high, to be honest. Because I don't unproven. I mean, yes, there's a very tiny sample size of what he can do. And this was another one of those guys from a very small school that is an athletic freak like Josh Allen. But is it worth the risk?
It's crazy because he's been in the league 2 years. He played 1 game in his first year, but Jimmy was obviously the starter. He starts next year. He gets hurt early. He's shown flashes that like okay, but he also came from the same school that Carson Wentz came from. I found it too. So all right, so they got the Texans trading for him for the 4th rounder, but that's the San Francisco's highest pick. They don't pick till the 4th round. They don't pick till day 3 unless they trade up. So the Texans one is intriguing because of Ryans. And if they do that, guess what? I feel like if they trade for Lance, you bring him in to start per se, and they don't go quarterback, they can try to rebuild that defense because their defense is 2nd or 3rd worst last year.
Shit. Let's just say it.
Yeah, the Colts kind of the same thing. They gave him a 4th this year, 5th next year. The Colts one would be interesting as well because of we know he's got speed, we know he can run, and their coach there obviously brought Jalen Hurts to where he is now, and then the Minnesota one because everybody kind of knows that Kirk Cousins' time there is dwindling. They're already dangling Dalvin Cook out there if they don't release him because there's after this draft is over, there's a strong chance he gets cut.
What did Cook do to pissing the Cheerios of the upper management.
I'll be honest with you, it's the injuries. And when you go look at it, and you said it yourself a couple minutes ago, running backs have a small shelf life, 6 years, something like that. And he's been in the league.
What,
probably about that
2017 or 2018 draft?
I want to say it's a 2018 draft, but he's been in the league about the same because he came in the year with Kevin King and all them. So
yeah, OJ Howard, we took him at 19,
and the TJ Watt draft. So it's just one of those things. And then y'all would give up so I guess San Francisco does have a 3rd round pick. Excuse me, San Francisco. They would say y'all would give up. No, y'all would give them the.
We would give them our 3rd round for Trey. Which I don't see. A 3rd round is a starter,
right?
In sense, so why not do the 4th and 5th like what the Colts would give up?
True.
That would make more sense to me.
And then this Tennessee one, I don't like. I just don't. I mean, I don't know. It's just something about the Tennessee organization right now. I don't.
They have a quarterback that's on the roster that's very similar talent-wise.
Yeah.
So why would you trade for Trey Lance when you have Willis?
But how bad are things with Willis right now? That's what I'm saying. Like, how bad are things with Willis right now for them to even go that direction? Or they just, they're like, all right, well, we good.
Well, what they saw, and I'll be the one to dodge bullet because I love watching him play at Liberty. Mm-hmm. I really thought the man had 1st-round talent, but talent's only what you do with it. He doesn't study well. You watch him during the game, he does not read defenses at all. He just looks for his progressions and then throws it and prays to God that one of his players catches it. That you can't do that in the NFL.
Well, I also think if you watch some of they ran the ball a ton. They ran the ball a ton when he was playing in those games. And I think they almost won a couple or maybe won one of them. But it's just like he's still young. And this is another example of a quarterback not getting time to truly develop and getting tossed into the fire. And so they're already trying to get rid of him. And he's only, unless he's showing like no work ethic while he's there, I can understand that. But if it's just because, all right, we saw a couple games of him and that's not it. Well, I mean, the guy just got drafted last year. He's a 3rd round pick, not a 1st or 2nd. I think if he was a 1st round pick, if they draft him in the 1st round, this would be a whole different story. No one would be even talking about it. But because he's a 3rd round, then you're like, okay, he's easily replaceable. But I don't know.
What can you learn from Ryan Tannehill? I'm not trying to take shots at him. The man was a wide receiver coming into the NFL. They transitioned him to a quarterback. He needs a mentor. He needs a guy to learn from.
Well,
sorry.
No, go ahead. You good.
A great guy, McCown.
See, and I here's my thing with this, and I'll kind of agree with you to an extent. They need that mentor. Ryan Tannehill's not that guy. We already heard how he treated Willis, and that could be another part of why Willis struggled last year because Tannehill was cold to Willis when they first got there. He was like, I ain't trying to. It's almost like he was like, I ain't trying to help him. That was the vibe that he gave.
It was bad.
So I mean, if you're not even trying to help your teammate out. See, this is a quarterback not being secure in his position. Like, if you were good, you wouldn't have that problem.
Absolutely, there.
Aaron Rodgers. If you were good, you don't have to worry about that. You don't have to start crying about it. Just like, hey, okay, you drafted. I'm just going to ball out. Sometimes all that talking and yip-yapping, just go out there and ball out.
The one time that Aaron Rodgers might tune into our shows when you're talking shit about him.
Look, he's about to be a Jet. So, I mean, I still love him. I mean, go Pack, go for life. I'll support everything. He's still on the wall back here somewhere. I mean, whatever.
Keyword somewhere.
But before we move on, Jay, where would you like to see Trey Lance go? What do you think is the best spot situation for him?
For him, Houston, because he knows his head coach, or I love the Colts. The Colts have a great line. They've got kind of decent receivers, but that running back, as long as he's healthy, will take the pressure off of him. I really feel the Colts is a great place for him.
Yeah, I think so too. With the coach and the mindset of the coach, and Trey still has a chance to develop. But it also might be a good deal if Trey goes somewhere where he can sit and develop, too. You know what I'm saying? Like truly sit and develop and not get, maybe pushed into the starting lineup. I don't know where that place would be. But wherever it is,
I wouldn't mind Tampa because the OC we had resurrected Geno Smith, but we brought in Baker, and
he might resurrect Baker. You got fingers crossed, eyes crossed, knees crossed. Look, as long as it works.
You don't want me to cross my eyes because one goes, whoop.
Okay, yeah. Well, if you can cross your knees, you're a talented person. But whatever they end up doing, I hope that they figure it out. But man, I hate to say it, but what a waste for the 49ers. You traded up to get Trey Lance.
Yes.
You traded up to get Trey Lance.
And then send them packing?
And you said what? And it's an embarrassment of riches if you think about it. That's how good Kyle Shanahan is as a coach, in my opinion. I know we talked about this a while back on Legacy on Fire about who we thought the best coach in the league was. And Shanahan was my choice because of what he's been able to do under those situations with quarterbacks. Like he's been through quarterbacks. Like he's had a different starter. Like
yes,
he's been there 6 years, and it's just been a up and down. But he's a good coach.
I agree 1,000% with that. He is a great coach, but he finds a way to bond with his leaders on the team, and they believe in what he's selling. So if it don't work out as a coach, sell cars, do it, dude.
Hilarious. I think that's a big part. So that it is for the main topics. We're going to do something a little bit different today. We're going to hit them with cash and trash a little bit early.
And now it's time for Cash or Trash.
So we're going to hit them with cash and trash a little bit.
Bro, you padlocked me. It's like, as soon as I see the bell, I'm like,
again, he got a word. So we're going to cash and trash it right off the bat here before we get to our final or our mark, I guess you can say, as we head into next week. Cash or trash? Tua Tagovailoa should have retired after the season. Cash or trash?
I'm cash. He should have retired because concussion after concussion after concussion. Somebody that knows about head injuries. Your brain is very important. It's very vulnerable, just like your heart. I know it's what provides for your family, whatever you have there. But dude, I'd just walked away because one more and you're just doing puzzles the rest of your life and something. And I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to be serious. You got to value.
Yeah, I think it's a tough deal. I hate to cash it, but I'm going to cash it. But this is all because the Dolphins don't know how to take care of their quarterback, and it's a shame. I mean, to be honest with you, they should be fined a lot because when he got the first one, and they knew it was bad, and they was like, oh, he probably maybe he convinced him to get back out there, but sometimes you got to say no, bro, and give him a couple of weeks. You had Teddy Bridgewater, who's a serviceable backup quarterback.
Yes.
So let Teddy come for 2 weeks, get to a healthy or whatever, how long it takes. You bring him right back out there, then he gets destroyed on Thursday Night Football against Cincinnati. Somehow they still won that game, which I'm still baffled about. I don't know how they pulled it off. I think no, they lost that game. They lost it. That was their first loss of the season. And so, it's just like, why? Then he comes against Green Bay, and you can tell he was lighting Green Bay up in the first half. Then he got concussed, and then the rest of the game he threw 3 picks. He threw 3 picks. So
in that first concussion, when he had, convinced them to let him come back, he remember when Colt McCoy got smoked.
Yeah,
and he didn't even know what state he was in, and they let him back in. It's got to be the same trainer.
I want him to survive here. I want him to keep rolling. I want him to keep playing. But the Dolphins really did him a disservice.
Absolutely.
They lost the first round pick, and I know it's not because of that, but they lost their first round pick, and now they can't. They got to wait to the second round before they could potentially get another offensive lineman to protect this man. And then they got to wait to the second round. So
they signed Mike White from the Jets.
Yeah,
but he seems to be good about every other 12 games.
Yeah, Mike White's a solid guy. He has some good moments with the Jets. I don't know if he's it though. That's the thing.
I agree. Skylar Thompson played great.
Yeah, Skylar Thompson did not play bad in that playoff game against Buffalo, man. Look, Buffalo, I thought Buffalo was about to be one and done. the way that he played in that one. So
So
I hate to cash it, but it's only because I'm really nervous for his health. I just don't know if the Dolphins will protect him the way he needs to be protected.
not trying to peel Band-Aids off, old wounds, but we have seen what brain disease does to people firsthand.
Exactly. Real quick, Becca says, "Hey y'all, what up? Then Becca says, Darrell, your head is extra shiny today. That's probably because I have the ring light glistening off the top of that bad boy." And she said, Darrell, that's your favorite person. And then have a great show. Joey then pops in with trash. Tua still has a lot of football left. I hope so, Joey. I really do. I really hope he does, because Miami has a chance to be good, like really good.
It's all about what the body. I mean, your body can be football ready, but if your head's not in it,
that's the part that makes me a little bit worried. So hopefully they figure it out. Next one on Cash or Trash. Allen Robinson will have a good year in Pittsburgh. This is a very interesting trade. I knew it was possible, but
head scratcher.
Yeah, I didn't see this one coming.
You trade Chase Claypool, and this is what you get in return, Mr. Hot Potato? Come on.
Yeah, look, man, Allen Robinson had some moments last year, but I really think I'm gonna tell you what I think messed Allen Robinson up, and that was that second or third year in Chicago. Well, the first year that the year before Justin Fields got there, they were just miserable at quarterback. He wasn't getting the football. Just imagine playing 2 years and you're just pretty much blocking out there. At least that's the way it feels. He's not. He was getting the ball here and there, and you had bad quarterback play, even with Justin Fields. And it wasn't. I don't think it was completely Justin Fields' fault. He was just running for his life. So you get back. You go to the Rams thinking, hey, Matt Stafford's going to be throwing me the football. And then everybody's throwing it. Jay was out there. I played a couple of games. I'm pretty sure
it was bad.
I saw Becca throw once or twice. I mean, there were some people out there making things happen. Maybe Joy was out there, but we had a couple people out there.
We haven't even had the draft. They still got Deontay Jones, George Pickens, and Calvin Austin, who was the 4th-round pick last year, who showed flashes.
Right.
So why?
I mean, I will say this, though. This is a bad outlook for Jordan Addison if you think he's going to Pittsburgh to play with his boy, because, I mean, if you go get an Allen Robinson, you're not thinking about getting a receiver in the first round. And, I mean, my thing is, yeah, maybe Pickett can convince him to bring him there, but I don't know if they make that move now.
Well, Pittsburgh has made their money. The last time I think they took a first-round wide receiver was Santonio Holmes.
Wow. It's a minute ago, too.
Yeah.
Like 03 or something.
But look what they've been able to put out. They get their Mike Wallace's, ABs, George Pickens even. They find talent later. So I can't process.
I don't know if I can cash or trash this one per se. I want to say I don't want to trash it. I mean, because I felt like Pickett played better towards the end of the year. And think about it. They were, 5-8, and they needed to win 4 games in order to keep the Mike Tomlin 500 above 500, and they came up and they played well. So I'm going to cash it, but I maybe finally, maybe some consistency at quarterback may help him, but we'll see.
I'm going to trash it because I think probably 3 games in he gets hurt. Not wishing somebody to get hurt, but his MO is if he's not getting the touches, he's out.
All right. Last one on cash or trash. The Lakers will make it to the NBA Finals. A lot of people are starting to think that, hey man, after game 1, they were like, oh, this Lakers team looks good. Then they got beat up last. Well, they didn't get beat up last night, but they lost last night on a Dylan Brooks jump shot or dagger to put things away, and then he called LeBron old, which I thought was hilarious.
He got to be careful.
Yeah, I don't like that.
I seen him get in the face, and not that LeBron's Jordan, but LeBron still got talent.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't appreciate him saying he was old, because if LeBron's old, that means I'm old, and I'm 15 days older than LeBron. So I don't appreciate that, Jordan. Dylan Brooks. How dare you, sir?
Bro, we're old.
I know. But you don't want to hear it. That's how that goes. But here's the thing. If they're clicking and AD is not hurt by just walking, because I mean, did you see that he got the ball? Did you see he like went up in the air one time and then like it barely touched him in the head and he gets nicked and you would think like he's about to have surgery. It was like something happened. He got a scratch. He said, I'm like, man, what is going on, man? Now I think he's just selling it just because. I don't even know if he's really hurting some of these times. I think he'd just be like,
I'm out of breath, guys. Take me out.
But the West is going to be very tough. I'm going to trash it. But Jay, could they? They could. They have talent to do it. I mean, having LeBron and AD, if they're healthy and on the right page, I mean, that's dangerous.
I'm with you. I'm trashing it too.
Yeah.
But, I mean, nothing is out of the realm when LeBron actually tries.
Right.
Just think how many rings he would have had if he tried.
This is also true. If he'd have tried, how many rings he could have had. I mean, 10 finals, 4 for 6?
Yeah.
I think it's 4 for 6 in the finals. So, but, nevertheless, you still made it to 10 finals to give him love there. But that is it. That's it for Cash or Trash, y'all. We're going to head to our mock. We're going to go ahead and finish this one up with our final and first LMS podcast first round mock. We've done multiple top 10s, but we haven't done a full. So we're going to do a full mock here and kind of go over our selections here to finish out the show. So we'll start first with the Carolina Panthers. Jay, where do you have Carolina going in this mock?
It's 50-50.
Well, maybe.
You get all the talk and all the chatter that I get to hear. Everybody's pointing towards Young, and Young is not a bad quarterback. He's just a bit small in stature. That's the only thing that weighs against him. But look at Russell Wilson.
Right.
Have you beat? So I'm gonna go with Bryce Young and buy the chatter.
I also, a couple of weeks ago, obviously the chatter was CJ Stroud, but supposedly CJ didn't have great visits or something like that here and there. So I'm gonna go with Young too. And the only thing about my biggest problem with Young is not even that he's short; it's that his build is what concerns me really. And he's got like an RG3 build, and that's what scares me. If he had RG3 later in his career build, I would be like, okay, he had that build and that talent, then he'll be all right.
Do you remember us questioning Teddy B's build also?
Yeah, I mean, and nothing against Teddy B. He's had some good moments, but he's taken some shots.
Yes.
And sometimes that quarterback position, you got to be a sturdy guy to an extent, and you got to be able to take some hits because you're going to take some hits. Even if you get the penalty, you're still going to take some hits throughout. So I guess me and Jay go Young on this one. Number 2.
I'm sticking with my I like to make Rob go nuts pick. So I'm going with Will Anderson Jr. It's a defensive head coach. He's got to get his guy to be his leader on defense. And Ryan's, he was the leader there for a long time as the middle linebacker. So Will Anderson is who I'm going with.
I actually agree with you, and I'm also going with Will Anderson. I really debated. I really debated between the other 3 quarterbacks at this spot because the more and more I think about it, when they first brought out the little thing about, hey, they may wait to 12 and get a quarterback, and I'm like, does kind of make sense. Like you said, Ryan has that defensive background. And you've said it multiple times, Davis Mills is not a bad quarterback. He just doesn't have pieces around him. I got to see him play live this season. It was a rough game to see him play live, but they just don't have the pieces around him. I think that's the part for me that I was kind of like, maybe not so much. So for me, I do agree with you, though. I got a feeling that they may go defense and wait to 12 to go quarterback if the right one is there. Number 3, where you got Arizona going?
In a real world, they're trading out. They're getting out. They're getting some, picks. But with the top guy off now, I'm gonna everybody be like, that's a reach. But I'm going Devin Witherspoon.
Really?
Yes.
Really? Witherspoon jumps up.
They need that. They need help in the secondary, especially with Baker wanting the trade. I'm not saying moving to safety, but how the PFF stuff that I've done the research on, he has been. There's only one corner drafted in the first round that's been better than him in PFF rankings, and that's Sauce Gardner. And that speaks volumes about this kid.
Cool. For me, I went defense as well. Obviously, if they make this move,
You're
for
going
sure.
Wilson.
Yeah, I'm going Wilson. And so Wilson, in some people's eyes, is the what? He's at least top 3 defensive talents in this
Oh,
draft. And if you're going to go, you need to build that defense up. I mean, they need a lot, but I'm going to go with Wilson here. They're obviously not going to go quarterback, and if they do go quarterback for whatever reason, then that's going to be very interesting, and that's going to say Kyler on the clock. But I mean, don't be surprised. I had a vibe about that. I'm like, if they go quarterback, it's going to just like, whoa, Robert. Somebody's going to go.
Whoever buys him the best gaming chair will be able to trade for him.
Number 4, the Colts are on the clock. Where do you got the Colts going with their pick?
CJ Stroud, he's still there. We got to see his mobility in that Georgia game. So, and yes, he was thrown to top tier talent, Rob, I know, but he had to put it in the right spot for the top tier talent to grab it. So, Stroud.
I'm also going to go with Stroud, but I think, to me, in my personal opinion, I think Stroud is the best overall quarterback in this draft. And I say that including physicality, including body, everything, all the intangibles that you look for in a quarterback. And it's nothing. I think I got to say this. I think Young is the most talented quarterback in this draft. But what really concerns me is the size. And so I'm going to go Stroud there. And I just think that, this will be a nice match made in heaven there for Indianapolis to get their guy.
They'll be dangerous. That's all I got to say.
I mean, they should be. They better be after what happened last year. Next, we got the Seattle Seahawks picking 5th. Where do you got them going?
Well, since he hasn't visited there, I'm going to go ahead and go with Wilson since he's there. Mm-hmm. I've been doing a lot of Carter there, but Carter having Drew Rosenhaus in his ear, I mean, that's like having, Dark Sidious in your ear saying, don't go there. Don't go there. So, what?
Great. No, I actually went with Carter, but it was kind of the reason we talked about a couple of weeks ago. And it's mostly like going to a place where, you can kind of, rebuild and you have the right type of coach around you.
Yes.
Pete Carroll's a great coach. The only other spot I would like to see him go maybe would be the Lions at 6. And I almost made that happen, but I decided to go with Seattle here. So they have a need at defensive interior lineman, and why not get the guy if, we'll discuss like we've discussed in the past with some of our panelists on our upcoming draft show. He has he has the ability to get into shape. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, you called my next pick because I'm sending him to the Lions, Carter.
I got Christian Gonzalez going there. I think that they just need defense. Take the best player that you see in the midst there. I mean, you could go Weatherspoon there, but if he's there at that point. But, they just got rid of Okuda. You're going to have to get, you're going to need some type of replacement there.
But don't forget that they, re-signed or they brought in Gardner Johnson.
Oh, yeah. They brought in Gardner Johnson. But Gardner Johnson was playing the slot last year most of the time, wasn't he?
He was, but you think about what he can bring in to teach some of the younger people.
Yeah, well, if that's the case, then you sell my point a little bit, because go bring in Christian and have a guy like Gardner Johnson help. I just think that they need defensive players. And if Carter is there at this point, I think you bring in with a guy like Dan Campbell, he'd be great there. I think Dan Campbell can really Dan Campbell just seems to bring out the best of his players, and they absolutely love him.
The energy that man brings, he is definitely turn around this franchise. Sorry, bro.
Yeah, I understand completely. Next, we got the Raiders at 7, and I went Anthony Richardson. Did you go Anthony Richardson?
I did, because I'm again sticking to my guns. He's a guy that I think McDaniels will be like, oh, he's still there. Get him, call him. We'll pay him $100 billion.
$100 billion. I told you a long time ago. Once we saw how he did in the combine, I said, man, that screams Raiders. They love workout warriors.
Yes.
Nolan Smith. Don't be surprised if Nolan Smith gets drafted at number 7, because they did it before with Colin. Was it Colin Farrell?
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell. They've done it before. I can go all the way to Remember
Darren
Darius
McFadden,
Hayward Bay.
Hayward Bay. Yeah.
We can go on, and it just feels like they're gonna go Workout Warrior or somebody. So Richardson, I would hope would be the guy, but we'll see. Number 8, we got the Falcons,
And they need a whole bunch of Lotta.
a whole bunch of Lotta.
I don't see this guy being a first. I don't see him being the solid best wide receiver the way a lot of the mock simulators have him. With Quentin Johnston, I got a bad taste in my mouth from TCU wide receivers. So what I'm going to do is go with Lucas Van Ness, the edge out of Iowa.
Okay,
Very
cool.
raw, didn't play a lot, was in rotation, but he's got the bend and he plays pissed off. I like him.
That's a good deal. Good deal. I went with Weatherspoon here. Atlanta's also another team I feel like just need defense. Obviously, they had some moments last year. Somehow they were still in that playoff mix. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they go receiver here. Yeah, I'm sorry, bro. You know how you felt that last year. Hey, look, you won the division. That's all that counts. But I will say, I wouldn't surprise me if they go receiver here if they continue to bring maybe a little bit help around Ritter. But I say go Weatherspoon here if he's available and just help put that defense together. They had a really solid offseason signing, free agents. Why not?
Jesse Bates. They did the trade for Okuda, and I believe AJ Terrell's still there, and he's looking great.
Yes. So, I mean, you bring AJ Terrell, and Weatherspoon tends to be the guy. Who knows? Number 9, we've got the Chicago Bears. Where did you go with this one?
Oh, Paris Johnson Jr.
Yep, me too. Paris Johnson, they need to protect this man. I want the Bears' first 5 picks to be offensive lineman. That's it. Nobody else. Don't bring maybe a receiver in there, but the first 5 picks need to be offensive linemen. Protect this guy. That's coming from a Packers fan. Protect this guy. Keep him right up because we all know that he was a passing quarterback coming into the league. He had to become a running quarterback because of how they was getting treated out there.
It's called running for your life.
It's called running for your life. So we both agree with Paris Johnson Jr. The Eagles at 10.
Peter Skronowski, the tackle from Northwestern, but I have them moving him to guard.
Okay.
So I love, and you just paid your quarterback a whole bunch of money. You got to protect him.
That's been my demon on this. I've been like, man, I've been saying for months. I know a lot of people said cornerback, a lot of people said defensive line. Even I said it. We'll talk about that a little bit later. But I just felt like offensive line. When Lane Johnson getting a little bit older. I know they had Dillard on the team, and I don't think things were working out there.
Yeah.
I feel like you might have to start looking for that, that offensive line future. Kelsey may not be there after a certain amount of time. They signed him up, but he's getting a little older.
1 year.
Yeah, they have to start getting ready to keep that line, get the next group in. But with that being said, also, I also think they may try to keep that defensive line rolling because they're getting younger, but they still have the vets there to kind of help lead the way. I went with Miles Murphy, edge there at number 10 for the Eagles.
And it's a great pick because if you look at Roseman's, we'll say last 5 years, he definitely loves going and finding people that work in the trench.
Right.
You win there, you win games. So.
All right. Next, we head to 11 and the Tennessee Titans. Where do you got Tennessee going?
Oh, Will Levis. It's not a need, but they're crybabies and they want to do it.
I went the opposite, and I did really think about Levis because I was like, but I don't know why I keep thinking about Jake Locker. I just don't want them to do it. I don't think they do it just yet. And I don't think they pick quarterback unless they move up to get one of the top tier guys. So like if they move up to where Arizona's spot is and they can get
Stroud,
if they can get Stroud, or if they can get somehow get Young, maybe even Richardson, I guess. But I hope they don't do Richardson either because but if it's not Stroud or Young at 3 somehow, then no, I don't see them making the move. I got them going with, I hate this, gonna hurt my heart, Jackson Smith Njigba, receiver out of Ohio State. And that breaks my heart because I really wanted to come to Green Bay. I really want him in Green Bay. I know we're not gonna pick him though. Even if he's there, Green Bay won't pick him. I know my team. I know my team. Next we got the Texans at 12.
Their second pick, and I am actually going with Jackson Smith, Jigma. So
I like that. I like that.
Another wide, he played a lot out of the slot, but his mentor is one of my favorite players of all time, in Terry McLaurin.
I'm gonna tell you what I like about this pick. I like the fact that you made this pick though, because they just lost Brandon Cooks. Who are their receivers?
Me, myself, and I.
And they may have signed somebody. I just don't know. I don't remember hearing about it. That's how crazy that is.
Let me pull it up and look real quick.
Yeah.
But the one thing, have you heard? I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No, you good. You good.
Have you heard about how Johnny Mitchie III is doing with his battle?
No, I haven't.
I'm just asking out of my own curiosity.
No, because he didn't get to play last year because of he's got cancer, correct?
Yes. Lymphoma of some sort.
Lymphoma. Okay.
Robert Woods, they signed. Noah Brown from Dallas. They still got Nico Collins, Amari Rogers.
That's not sexy.
John Mitchie, and a whole bunch of, undrafted free agents.
So if that happens, I can see this happening, and that would definitely give if Davis Mills is the quarterback, definitely give him a weapon. Now, with that being said, I decided to go with Will Levis, and take him there for Houston, and give him they need a quarterback. Obviously, I mean,
you just contradicted everything you said at number 2.
What I mean, I was agreeing with why you picked him. Personally. It makes sense why you went that route. But personally, I still think they need to get a quarterback in this draft. And if they're 2, even though I'm vibing that they're probably not going to go the way. If they're 2, I feel like they got to get Stroud or Young, personally. But do I think they're going to go that way is a whole different story. So
Levis is a guy that if they go with him, even though they got Tunsil, I still see him being another Carr. I hate to do that to him.
That's tough.
If you watch in his games, his decision making sometimes what the hell?
Well, he had a lot of picks too, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, he had a lot of picks too. So, we'll see. We'll see. Next, we've got the Jets at 13.
On that one, I'm going with I'm going to go with Jones. Broderick Jones, left tackle, out of Georgia, because bringing an old man Rodgers in, you got to keep him upright.
I agree with the same reasoning, same everything. I got Broderick Jones as well. 14, we got the New England Patriots.
What a shit show! I'm sorry. The talk about Mac Jones after he did what he did, they're talking about trading him.
It's only been 2 years, man. They're trying to get rid of my guy already.
Whatever's in the Kool-Aid or the massage oil, I don't know, but get rid of it, guys.
Well, here's the thing: we heard nothing about Mac Jones until Zippy came in and had those Bailey Zippy came in and had those couple of good games. All of a sudden, trying to get rid of Mac Jones. I'm like, dang, man, it's only been a couple games. Like, Mac Jones got this team to the playoffs his first year. They went on a 7-game winning streak. Mac Jones is not. I don't think he's a terrible quarterback, but he's one person. I'm not gonna lie. If y'all decided to trade for him, I think he would really help them. But I don't know. I take that back. You don't have Leftwich anymore, so.
Don't even get me started on that one.
Yeah, we won't go too deep in that. But what do you have? What do you have New England?
No, Miles Murphy.
I went with Brian Brees. They're looking for an interior lineman. He's the best one left on the board.
No, he's not.
Well, that's your opinion, sir. Who is the best left on the board in your opinion?
Defensive line wise?
Yeah, well, interior defensive lineman.
Interior, Maisie Smith, and that hurts because he's Michigan. You got the gentleman out of Pittsburgh. I'm not even Chauncey.
Clancy. Yeah.
I would take him because Brian Brees, the way he plays, he has no burst, no power at the point of attack. Very close to a Tavin Bryant. Remember him?
Oh, that's tough.
So
that's mean too. That's tough and mean at the same time.
Well, and they still run the 3-4, so you need a guy with a little bit more beef and muscle.
I'll give you that. Next, we got the Packers at 15.
What?
Why'd you laugh? I mean,
I'm actually going to give you who you want. Dalton Kincaid, tight end.
I've been telling people I'm reaching here because they're not talking about it that much, but this is a big need for them. They don't have any tight ends right now. Like that, they got the Aguero guy, but he never really panned out. They signed some guy that was like their fourth string guy last year, and Mercedes Lewis is a free agent, more likely going to end up with the Jets. And Tunyon is in Chicago.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
One of the first two picks has to be tight end. That's my opinion. No matter what.
He is one of the best tight ends we've seen in a hot minute as far as complete package. Not a receiver, not just a blocker. He's the whole thing.
Yeah, I think the Packers' first two picks should be tight end and receiver, personally. I don't know if that's how that's going to go, but we shan't see. Next one, we've got the Washington Commanders at 16.
A lot of people don't believe in Sam Howell. I like Ty. I love Sam Howell. I think he's great.
See what that Sam Howell hate is all about. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's only been one game.
They went with a linebacker last year. They need line help. Line. So I personally am going with Darnell Wright, tackle, Tennessee.
I went same dream, but I went with Peter Skoronski from Northwestern. See, here's my thing. Like, one of their biggest problems last year was offensive line consistency. There was time the offensive line was like, all right, cool. And it was sometimes like, whoa, what is this?
Only when they played the Packers.
It's the only time they were consistent. I mean, only time they were consistent. It makes me sick. But I will say, like, if you're going to definitely have Sam Howell be your quarterback, which actually I think something just popped across the screen about him in the quarterback situation.
What's up?
But they said but there will be more. So they say he is a future starter, but the draft will provide more clarity once they finish the draft to see where they kind of land with it. But anyway, I will say this. I just think that if he's going to be the quarterback, you got to protect him. And that's the bottom line. If you got to protect him. So for me, I go with Skoronski there and have that protection there for Sam Howell.
Next, we got what? The Pittsburgh Steelers.
Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's say it at the same time. 1, 2, 3. Joey Porter Jr. Joey Porter Jr. Look, this is a home run pick. You know, this is if he lands here.
And a legacy pick yet to boot.
Real facts. And you don't pick Joey Porter Jr., shame on you. Because they need cornerback. Cornerback is their biggest need. In a lot of people's eyes. Take him. Why not? I mean, look, you did it with Pickens. You drafted him because he was, the Pittsburgh guy. He's there. Pick Porter. You know what type of mentality. You know his dad's work ethic. If he acts up, bring the dad in there.
The only other guy they could take is Cansey, the tackle from Pittsburgh, because Hayward's back another year, old, long in the tooth, could learn something. But Porter's sitting there. They gotta go and grab men. Gotta.
Before we move on, we do got some things to talk about here. Our man Dwayne Royal, been a long time. Dwayne,
what's up?
Hope all is good, brother.
Man?
He said, "Well, a long time no see. Yes, brother. Hope all is well, man, with you and the family." Joey says the Lions have my favorite jerseys in the NFL right now. Not gonna lie, I ain't gonna lie to you. I do like the colors. I like the black. I used to like the black ones they used to have on Thanksgiving.
I like the black ones. Yes,
they used to be sweet. Dwayne says, "What teams do you think will trade their first round picks?"
Jay put some blasphemous stuff out because I believe there will be at least 12 trades in the first round.
That's a lot of trades. Is it possible? Heck yeah. But I think also it also entertainment value because I think the NFL draft has become such a spectacle. In so many ends, like when we were kids, it was just starting to get to where it is. It was on the rise.
When we were kids, it was 20 rounds.
It was forever. It took forever. I would say, I think Arizona definitely. I think Atlanta has a strong possibility. I think they might try to move back for more picks. I would also throw
Tampa Bay
in there.
Yes.
There was another team that I wanted to say. Hold on, I'm going to tell you in a second.
I see possibly Colts also.
Colts could go back. I don't think Seattle will go back. The Texans also a team that could go back if they decide. But
how great would it be for them to take and give up, 2 and their third or second round pick, their first second round pick? I guess it would have to be 2 firsts, but
right.
Go get Lamar.
Go get Lamar. Why not? And then Dwayne says, last when we played the Packers and the Eagles the second time, the only 2 games the line acted right. Yeah, you're right about that. I told you against Green Bay.
We were at the Packers game when they played. I was enjoying it because I could feel Darrell's dread down on the field.
Man, I was over there I was hot. I said, man, this is some bull, man. Because they had the lead and they just slowly gave it away. I don't want to talk about bad memories. So we both go with Porter at 17. 18, the Detroit Lions. Where are you going with this one?
Well, you look at needs. Who's on the board? Oh, man, he's there. I really like him. I'm going to do this just to make waves. I'm going with Robinson, running back, Texas.
Whoa. I thought about that. I really did.
Because Swift can't stay healthy and Williams is gone.
And that would be, man, on that turf with him and Swift, man, look, that could be dangerous. Man, that's tough. I don't hope that doesn't happen. God. I actually went tight end here. I went with Michael Mayer. Look, they lost Hawkinson. They traded him away. Now, the tight end they did have a pretty decent season, but I still think that it's going to be a big need for him. So go get you a guy. Give Goff another security blanket. So I go with Mayer there at 18.
But their tight end is very deep in this class. Let's see. Tight end, Brock Wright, James Mitchell. Yeah, it's definitely
Washington.
Need,
yeah. Are you talking about for who's on the team now?
Who's on the team now? Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So, all right.
So I'll go for tight end for now, and I'm not gonna lie, I debated because I really wanted to go defense, but I was like, all right, I'll go tight end for now. Well, next. Go ahead.
Oh, they found great gems later.
They did.
So,
what was the kid that came from Oklahoma State? Was it Gonzalez? Number 44. Yeah.
The tackling machine.
Yeah, my man was all over the place.
And then Houston in the 5th round from the HBCU team. Yeah. Jackson State.
He had a really good year. But what I love about this team, I know we keep hopping on Dan Campbell, but Dan Campbell, they've drafted well for people to fit his personality and to fit his team. Like, I think that is another key element when you're drafted. You want the team to fit the coach's personality,
yes.
The coach's style, obviously, but the personality is a big deal. So yeah, most definitely. Next one, we go to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 19.
Brian Branch, safety. They lost every safety except for Antonio Winfield Jr. in free agency. They brought in Neal, which I was surprised that Seattle let him walk.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times we see Winfield drop down into the nickel spot. So yeah.
I don't know if you're gonna like my pick then. I went with Cam Smith here at corner, and so
I don't hate it. He plays the press and the zone great, just
mm-hmm.
like who was the guy a couple years ago that Carolina landed? Horn. Yeah, JC Horn. He's just, I don't think quite as athletic as JC,
but he's got that potential.
He's got that potential. So I don't hate it. I like him. There's only one other corner that I like better in that system, and that's Brent's out of Kansas State. So
all right, next we go to 20. We got a lot of 11, 12 picks left. Who do you have Seattle taking?
Just to make him happy. No, I'm going. This says guard, center, defensive line, and hopes and dreams. Christian Gonzalez. They got to help that.
Man, I didn't realize Gonzalez fell that far on your board. I didn't even think about that when you said it. That's crazy.
His measurables are there. The speed's there. I just don't think he's got the instinct to be a top 10 corner. My opinion. Just my opinion.
No, I'm just saying. I was like, I didn't realize he had went down that far. Well, though. Okay.
Remember, Utah State destroyed. Oregon twice, and then they whooped our butt, and then we played Utah and we destroyed them. I'm just saying.
Hey, I understand completely. I went with Van Ness at that pick for all the reasons you said earlier. But my biggest thing is that Seattle rebuilding that defense to try to make a push in a division that they can definitely win. So I would say continue to build the defensive line. He's a great prospect, and I think another guy that beside Carter could be. They could be dangerous. With the 21st pick, the Miami Dolphins select. Oh, that's right, it was forfeited. Next, we got the Chargers. Technically 22, but 21, one way or the other. How do you have this one going for the Chargers?
I actually got them taking Nolan Smith, the workout warrior. He gets lost on Georgia tape. Watch him, and occasionally he makes a play. So I got him. He's an edge listed, but 6'2", 250, give or take. He's a good linebacker prospect, my opinion.
Sweet. I got Robinson. Bijan Robinson going here. And the reason why, well, guess who asked for a trade? Austin Eckler. If Robinson is here, go ahead and take him because you're gonna need that workhorse to be your guy to be able to take some of that pressure off of Herbert. If you're losing Eckler, who's a touchdown machine, you've got to find some type of replacement there. So I go Robinson there. But
how is this man only making $2.5 million a year?
It's stupid. Well, I mean, let's be honest with you. They got him when he was they got him on the cheap. They were just getting rid of what's homeboy that was there when he first got there.
It wasn't Melvin Gordon.
Melvin Gordon, right? So they got him when Melvin Gordon was They realized, oh, this guy, look at this kid. We can get him for cheaper.
This guy broken all the time.
Yeah, Eckler has been nothing but solid for that team. And he deserves some type of payday. He definitely deserves more than $2 million. I can tell you that much.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he's going to get what he may be looking for, but wherever they trade him, I hope whoever gets him, boy, they're going to be, look, I'm telling you, a team like Cincinnati, if they end up trading Mixon, because I heard they may cut Mixon, but if you drop Eckler with Burrow,
don't they still got P. Ryan though?
They still got P. Ryan. P. Ryan had a decent year last year, so he was a great backup running back for Cincinnati. Next, we got the Baltimore Ravens.
Oh, excuse me, Dante Banks, corner. I'm sticking with my guns there.
Right.
Hometown guy. So
I thought about Banks there, but I listened to you, sir. I went with Julius Brents, moving up the charts, tall, physical guy. Why not go to Baltimore and do your thing? I mean, I just feel like Baltimore's always been good when it comes. They usually do really good when it comes to picking defensive players. So I'm gonna go with Brents there. I think
I'm so jealous, and you think Hamilton hasn't even been on the field.
Right.
A lot.
And he hasn't really scratched the surface of how good he could be. So I mean, look, continue to get younger, continue to get smarter on defense. So I want Brents at 23.
Nice.
Or 22, whatever one it ends up being. Next, we've got the Minnesota Vikings. Where do you got Minnesota going?
Minnesota, I'm gonna go with the one true linebacker thumper with Jack Campbell. They need to replace, all their people. Campbell is a tackling machine. I love him.
I went with Quentin Johnston here. Losing Thielen is tough. Now, they do have Osgood. Osgood, I think, will come in and be a solid number 2. But just in case, I don't know if they signed Justin Jefferson long-term yet, but just in case Justin Jefferson, I want out of here, especially if they get rid of Kurt and they don't find a quarterback. I guess I don't know that whole situation, so I don't want to lie. But I said, let's go ahead and get another receiver in there just in case. And so I'll go with Quentin Johnston.
I don't hate it, but I remember again, first round wide receivers don't. Well, no, just for Minnesota, first round wide receivers normally don't work out. Jefferson
and TCU too, because look, they had Rager, and then they had Dotson. So those are the only two that pop in my head. But we see how their careers went.
Remember Laquan Treadwell?
Was
he didn't go to TCU. He went to
Minnesota.
State.
Oh, but he was in Minnesota though.
Yeah. He was the first round pick and washed out.
Yeah, because I mean Jefferson they got in the second, so it's not like
okay, yeah.
So, and I think Thielen was obviously later. So Osgood they got in the 5th round.
I think Thielen was an undrafted free agent.
And that's I mean, I'm telling you, we'll see.
It's
We'll
crazy.
see. Next one, we got a couple more, y'all, and then we'll be out of here for this one. We've got the Jacksonville Jaguars. Where do you have Jacksonville going?
Oh man, they definitely need secondary. So I'm gonna go with Cam Smith.
It's so funny. I think I got a feeling that it's either gonna be Cam Smith or Joey Porter Jr. that goes to Jacksonville. I don't know why, but that's the vibe that I keep getting. I don't know why it's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be one of those two.
Dude, if Joey Porter Jr. drops that far, that's blasphemous.
If they might even move up for him, but I just got a feeling he ends up in Jacksonville. One of those two end up in Jacksonville.
Okay.
All right. Next. I've got. I don't know if I'm gonna say his name right. DeWan Jones. Is that Ohio State? Offensive.
DeWan.
So I went there because one, you want to protect Trevor Lawrence.
He's a monster.
Yeah, and I think even though they played pretty good, obviously towards the end of the season, why not stack that lineup? Get that line nice and strong just for their star. Because look, Trevor Lawrence showed what we knew he could be last year when he actually gets good coaching. So when he actually gets good coaching, and why not just add a piece in that line and keep that line built up? That's why I went with Jones.
AFC Championship game is where I see him this year.
Yes, and if they can, with what they have on that team, they can really take a step. Yes. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued about Jacksonville.
I'm excited about him, dude.
Yeah. Next, we've got the New York Football Giants.
They suck.
Who do you got the Giants going with?
Jordan Addison.
Me too. I went receiver here. I'm not a big Daniel Jones guy. I want to see him continue to do well, and maybe he'll do well underneath. Continue to do well underneath Daboll. I just don't. I feel like the money. I hope the money doesn't change him, but I got this weird vibe. That's all.
They should have paid half the money to the Ghost Gopher that tripped him up.
All right, so we both went with Jordan Addison going to New York. Dallas at 27 or 26, whatever one it is.
Dallas is just all over the place with what they need, what they don't need. But I'm going to go with Cansey, the defensive interior guy from Pitt, just because, Jerry Jones, again, likes his workout people also. And Lawrence is getting old.
Yeah.
And Vanden Bush is
Vanden Esch. There you go. Continue. Vanden Bush.
I just like saying it.
Vanden Bush.
Rob said something to us that he is the heart and soul of that defense, but he's also very much like Sean Lee, hurt a lot.
Yeah, he is not as bad as Sean Lee, but he has had some injury. Poor Sean Lee, man. God. Sean Lee was so good when he was healthy. It was ridiculous. I actually went with Brian Branch here, safety out of Alabama. I think, Dallas just can look. The defense was good last year. Get better. Just continue to get better. I mean, because you may need it because I think that offense is not going to be as good as people. I mean, Cooks is going to be decent next year, but it's not going to be that good.
Wow.
So you look at Dallas. Look where Dallas went from. They went from having Amari Cooper to not having Amari Cooper. Now you got Brandon Cooks.
And
so
what happened to Michael Gallup?
I don't know, man. And then CeeDee Lamb was good last year. But I don't want to trash Cooks because I like Cooks, but because I would definitely would have taken him in Green Bay. But I just think that you had Amari Cooper and you gave him away because you didn't want to pay him.
How many teams has the guy been on?
If I'm not mistaken, they said he's played
6.
It's 6 or 7. He's only been in the league 8 years, and he's had Saints, Rams, Patriots, Texans, Cowboys. I want to throw the Dolphins in there, but I don't think that's right.
It is right, I believe.
But he's been on a lot of teams, man. New Orleans was the other team. He was with New Orleans. So he's been with
You said New Orleans at the beginning.
I did say New Orleans at the beginning.
Yeah.
Okay. But he's been around the league. And he's I don't think he stayed no more than 2, maybe even 3 years with the teams he's been with. Some of the teams he was there half a season and then they sent him packing. So I don't know. But I went with Branch there.
I'm Googling it. Sorry.
No, you cool. I'll go move on to the next while you're doing that. Buffalo has the next pick. And, Buffalo could go running back here. Maybe even Gibbs. 5? Is it 5 teams? Okay, so 5 teams. He could go. They could go running back here. I don't know if they will, though. They might wait another round before they do that. But once again, I think interior lineman is a need, so I went with John Michael Schmidt from I forgot where he was from, but I went with John Michael Schmidt. So interior lineman for Buffalo.
I think you just like saying his name.
John Michael, your name is my name too.
I'm going with Dan. I can't say his name. Henley from Washington State, linebacker.
Oh, I can't say his name. I don't know who he is.
Well,
he's some guy.
They need linebacker help,
right?
Big time. So that's where I'm going.
All right, next we got Cincinnati. Where you have Cincinnati going?
I know where you're going with this because I love Washington. I'm going with Michael Mayer, tight end, Notre Dame.
I went with Keely Ringo. I went with Keely Ringo. Look, they need cornerback help, and Eli Apple to me is still not it. So I mean, I probably would have went safety here as well. If Branch was still here, I probably would have went Branch with homeboy off with Bates no longer being there, but I went with Ringo.
I don't hate it, but he has fallen out of first round talk. I don't think he's interviewing well.
That's not good. I hope he fixes it. I hope he fixes it. Next, we got the Saints.
I'm gonna just go with this just to get him off the board. Brian Breeze.
Yay, Brian Breeze. I went with Derek Hall from Auburn. I know that they're looking for defensive line help, so I went with Hall.
I like Hall. I do.
I like Hall. 31, we've got the Eagles.
Do they need anything else? I mean, come on.
I mean, to be honest with you, like it's kind of tough because they still look like they're in a really good spot. For me, I thought I went defensive line on the first one because they did lose Hargrove, but
see, I went defense or offensive line. So I think what I'm gonna do is go with Maisie Smith, defensive tackle out of Michigan.
Like it. I went with Deontay Banks from Maryland. I think they, go ahead and grab the cornerback is supposedly a need. I don't know. Oh, I guess now they don't have Gardner Johnson. So you bring in a Banks to kind of maybe be, that Gardner Johnson replacement.
Not even close.
But we'll see. So I go with Banks there, and the rich get richer.
Oh, God. That ain't no lie.
The rich get richer.
Is Michael Thomas still on their team?
Michael, like for the Saints, or are you talking about
for the Saints? It just hit my head because
they said that he is. They said I saw something the other day. They're talking about he was bench pressing 850 pounds. So he supposedly is, or squatting 850 is one of the two. Whatever one it was, maybe he was squatting 850 pounds, but some crazy number. And supposedly he's looking really good. So Derek Carr about to smile a little bit. Who knows? Went from Devontae Adams to Michael Thomas.
I don't see how. I mean, no offense to Thomas, but where the hell you been, bro?
Yeah, sleepy time. Last one, we've got the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm gonna go Will McDonald from Iowa State. I like the pedigree from Iowa State because of Jared Allen.
Yeah, I was. Yep.
Yeah, you had
I was thinking it because we talked about it yesterday. I was like,
brain fart.
I did because we talked about it yesterday. That's why I was like, who did he say yesterday? I can't remember. I think it was Jared. I was about to say it, but then you got to. I was like, okay, he beat me. Okay.
What was it? The lasso?
Maybe. And last but not least, I got the Chiefs going with Zay Flowers. They did let Juju Schuster-Smith go. They brought in Flowers yesterday for an exclusive interview or something like that. So they brought him in to kind of talk to him before the draft.
One of the 30.
He's Flowers is tough. We did. Yeah, we got a chance to talk to Flowers at ACC Media Day last year. He is as tough as they come. He's a hard-nosed receiver. And I just feel like, I'm not going to say he's Tyreek Hill or nothing like that, but he will come in. I think he will fit well in that Kansas City offense. But
for me, that is the one pick that you've made so far that I don't like. Not because I don't like Flowers, because if you look at two guys that are already on the roster, they're very similar in skill set and size.
Right.
With Kadarius Toney and Sky Moore.
Hey man, just get him more short receivers. He likes to throw to him. Just let him roll.
What about is it Josh Downs? from North Carolina.
It's funny that you said that because that was my debate between. I thought about, okay, maybe I bring Downs in here, and we talked to Downs too. So I thought about Downs, and I said, I'm gonna go with Flowers. They brought in Flowers for the visit lately. I said, I feel like that might be the way they go.
I mean, again, looking forward. I mean, it's draft season.
Hey, we got a week. We are a week away. Draft goes down in about a week. So, I don't know what food dish I'll be eating at the time. I'll find me something good. I'll be up in here in the cave tomorrow. This is delicious. I can't believe we're having a draft right now. Jay will be in Disney World doing backflips. Oh yeah. All right, everybody. That is it for our show today. Man, hour 20. It's an old school one. So once again, everybody.
Sorry we went so long, but it's
draft season. So
it's our passion.
It's draft season.
We get giddy about it.
We get giddy about draft season. So once again, everybody, thank you all for tuning in. We will say this draft show coming out next week. So be on the lookout for it. Myself, Jay, Lamont, Rob, James. We have a couple other members of the team that will give sleeper picks. So it's gonna be fun.
It will be shorter than this podcast.
Yeah, it'll definitely be shorter than this podcast. We'll probably be looking at the 30-minute to 45-minute mark. So just sit back and look out for that. Once again, everybody, thank you all for tuning in to the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast for episode 308, technically 310, but we won't talk about that. Jay, is there anything you want to say before we go?
I love your people. If you haven't talked to somebody, give them a ring because you never know. God bless.
Most definitely. Once again, everybody, thank you all. And I want to give quick love to my girl, Shanice Williams. Love you, baby. That's all I'm going to say about it. And I hate that it happened the way it
Rest
did.
in paradise.
Yes, rest in paradise. I'm Darrell Owens Jay Quimby. This, ladies and gentlemen, has been the LegacyMaker Sports Podcast on the LegacyMaker Sports Network. We will see you all next time.